And welcome inside the Backstage Pass today. It is a brand new week of shows after taking yesterday off. Well, just a kind of much needed day off that I needed to take a little break here before we get ready for Country Radio Seminar coming up there in 2 weeks, actually, March 13 to 15 at the Omni Hotel. A full slate of interviews set up for you, too. Some big time stars from past, present, even today's modern country are going to be joining us, all made possible by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. And check them out. You need to do so. Bangtail.com, or of course Easy Liquor, good way to get it. Total Wine and Specs in Nashville and all over the place now. It's getting into more bars and restaurants out there too. Bangtail.com. And our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits out there in the Houston, Katy area, Cypress, they're all over the place. Total Wine and Specs. So they make a great vodka, gin, and bourbon out there too. I drink the bourbon at least twice a week out there for Gentle Ben Spirits. They're also out there with the Rockets and the Astros. Check them out, gentleben.com. And our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. And pleased to welcome in my featured artist of the day here on a Tuesday, just a couple of days from turning another year older too. Birthday, I just forgot about that, on Thursday of this week. Macartney Reinhardt joining us here on the Backstage Pass presented by our great sponsors. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been busy. Like I said, I forgot. I'm so busy. I forgot I've got a birthday Thursday, and I'm just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You've been busy.
It is raising a young one will get you. Yeah, we'll say that too. But it's a great deal being a dad. But at the same time, she does keep me busy out there, no doubt. Hey, I want to learn all about you at the top here and get this thing called becomes natural to these great songs. Latest single, Coming Home, which is out there across all the digital platforms. Tell me about yourself growing up and about the connection to, and when did you kind of know you were going to take this thing and kind of run with it?
Well, I've always loved music. Like, even when I was really small, like, my parents would always play the Grateful Dead so I could go to sleep at night when I was like a year old. And, um, and my dad's always been a musician, and it's like it runs in our family a lot. So I've always been around music, known that's just like kind of in me to be
Mm-hmm.
musical and creative, I guess. So I started taking voice lessons when I was about 5. And then from there, I took voice lessons all through like elementary school, middle school. And then when I was in middle school, I started playing in a band. And that's when I started writing. And I was like, okay, this is like really what I want to do with my life. So, yeah.
Talk about those musical influences. I know there's got to be you mentioned the Grateful Dead. There's got to be others, probably country, non-country out there that you grew up listening to. Who were some of those artists that who did it for you?
Yeah, so I never really listened to a lot of country until I was 11 or 12. Like, most of my influences were always the Beatles, um, Grateful Dead. I listened to Adele when I was little, and mostly the Beatles. They were like the main influence for me, and then like people that kind of had that sound also. So like Elliott Smith, mostly people like that just had that really kind of just Beatles sound.
When you look back at it now, when did country kind of play a little bit of a part to kind of shape you as an artist and kind of also to let you know, hey, I've grown up on all this great music here, but I also want to, now pursue country music and kind of define who I am and my sound and what I want to be as an artist? Was there kind of a country artist that shaped you, a group of people, a band? Was it just you listening to that music? When did you kind of pick up country music?
I actually, when I was little, I listened to, I don't know if you know the Thrills,
Heard the
but
name? I have.
they were a band popular like when I was born. So when I was like a toddler, I would always listen to them, and they were considered alternative, but they had a really country sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of where the country started, but like I didn't really know it because I just didn't really consider it country then. And so then I started listening to like Carrie Underwood, Maren Morris,
Mm-hmm.
some of Taylor Swift's older country stuff. And that is what started like really shaping. I would say Carrie the most
Carrie?
for like just shaping who I was in country.
I like that too. Great answer too. She's definitely one of those female powerhouse vocalists out there that did it for a lot of years, and of course got her start on American Idol, and it never really looked back. I mean, she's been the powerhouse of the female industry for quite a while now. Talk about just knowing that when I grew up back in the '90s, it was such a, and even parts of it are today, male dominated industry. What challenges do you face as a young kind of female country artist today? Talk about some of those hardships and those challenges now getting into this and doing it full time.
Well, the main thing that I've picked up on is just it seems a little harder for me to break through, I guess, just because country is so just like male centered, and there aren't that many females in country even today. And so it feels like it's just a little bit harder to break through, and also like to know what kind of sound you want because there aren't
Mm-hmm.
tons of influences.
Well, I love the fact that this single really has definitely separated you from the pack. I think you've put your own sound and kind of your own feel on this too, with great vocals. And I know it came out toward the end of October. I'm gonna turn it over to you now because I want to hear this, and I got audience question we'll get to here in a little bit from David. He's watching over in England today, so appreciate him tuning in there. David, thanks for always tuning in, giving us a little part of the show, asking a question. I'll be able to ask that here in just a little bit. Coming Home is the current single from Macartney Reinhardt. Let's have you play it here. I'm gonna pitch it over to you, and let's hear it because I love this song. I really do.
Thank you. We can never wait for the end of the week, dressed in green and white, to those stadium lights. I remember all those days, all those crazy dreams. You'd be homecoming queen. My eyes were on lights bigger than this town, but I never made sense to you that I took it out of this place. I've always gone home to town. I've never really known it, leave it all behind, chasing painted white lines, the skyline tugging on my heartstrings, calling me to Tennessee, give it all a try. I'm coming home for the first time. Traded in the stadium Friday nights, and now I'm dressed in Broadway lights, chasing songs just to sing them all alone. But look at me now, I'm singing to the crowd. My eyes were on lights bigger than that town, but I never made sense to you that I took it out of this place. I've always gone home to town. I've never really known it, leave it all behind, chasing painted white lines, the skyline tugging on my heartstrings, calling me to Tennessee, give it all a try. I'm coming home for the first time. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't easy, leaving a place I was never supposed to be. This place I've always called home, a town I've never really known, and leave it all behind. Chasing painted white lights, the skyline tugging on my heartstrings, calling me to Tennessee, give it all a try. I'm coming home for the first time. I'm coming home for the first time.
Love it. It just comes so natural there from Macartney Reinhardt here on the Backstage Pass, too. It's the latest single, Coming Home, out there across all the digital platforms. We'll take a quick time out, come back and talk about a few other singles we're going to touch base on. Yeah, we'll go back to Twilight and, of course, Shadows and a couple others we're going to talk about here on the Backstage Passes. The countdown to Country Radio Seminar is on, officially March 13 to 15, about 2 weeks out. We'll be there in Music City. I'm writing down a list of all the restaurants I want to go to there. Got to have this, and got to get the hot chicken in on this night and everything else. So we'll see you guys there. Be doing some little funny videos there too, and all the interviews at the Omni Hotel, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Gentle Ben Spirits, and also our friends at Honky Tonk Texas out there. Quick timeout. More with Macartney here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight. Coming right back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here during the week here, so we count down to CRS here. One more show tomorrow, and of course one on Friday. Our good friend Aaron Watson's going to come by here in a couple of weeks here, talk a little Texas country. And then also, too, a big announcement here, March the 3rd. Looks like we're going to have some new music. Travis Denning is going to be joining us here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to that. And also the big news, Travis Denning and Buddy Jewell, McBride and the Ride, and Jay Allen, a whole lot more at CRS 2023. So looking forward to that. March 13 to 15 at the Omni Hotel Media Center in Nashville, Tennessee, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, also to Honky Tonk Texas and Gentle Ben Spirits. Back here with Macartney Reinhardt on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to just spending another 20 minutes with you here. So love the song so much. I love it. Let's go back to 2021. First set of singles that are coming out as you're discovering, like you said, who you wanted to be as an artist and kind of what type of songs you wanted to put out. What was the backstory behind Twilight?
Well, I always, when I was little, had listened, like I said, to like the Beatles, Elliott Smith, and I had always loved, there was this one girl on YouTube, she did a cover of Twilight, and she played harp to it, and I just thought that was so pretty, and like I had always listened to it when I was really small, and I always thought that that was just a beautiful song. And so I kind of wanted to put a country spin on it and put it out. So That was the first song I put out before any originals. And
Yeah.
so that was a song that I've always loved, and I wanted to see what it sounded like country and put it out like that.
I think you did a very good job. Like I said,
Thank
you countrified it McCartney way, and
Thank
you
you.
did real, as Luke Bryan says, countrified. Yes, that's one of the names he comes up with out there. And then we kind of progressed into Shadows too, which I thought was a very different feel than, of course, what Twilight was. Both fantastic songs. The Shadows. What was kind of the idea behind that one?
Well, Shadows was actually the first full song that I wrote
Mm-hmm.
when I was 12. And I was going through a really rough time then. My grandmother, she lived with us, and
Mm-hmm.
she had passed away from cancer
Mm-hmm.
during that time. And I've always had really bad anxiety. Like, I've got generalized anxiety disorder. And so I just wanted to put that into words, like what I was going through at
Mm-hmm.
that time, because it was a really rough time for me. So that song is basically about finding light in the darkness of
Mm-hmm.
really, really bad situations.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you too. And for people that don't understand the anxiety way, and like I said, having diagnosed with that too is a rough situation to deal with too. Different types of medications get prescribed or not, and you got to find ways to cope with it and ways to kind of overcome it, and you're going to deal with it. I mean, forever. It's pretty much there. So that song really, I'll be honest with you, it made me cry when I first heard that song. I lost my grandmother to dementia just a few years ago, and was like a mother to me. And music is supposed to do that to you, especially when you hear a song that really touches you close to your heart and makes you feel something. And I'm not afraid to admit you can cry on this show, and music is supposed to make you feel that way. So we're all human beings out there. So Shadows did that for me. Let's jump into old country song there for you. You guys were continuing that string of singles there in 2021. I know it was tough with all the the pandemic and everything we were in too. How did you keep busy? It seemed like you guys were putting out these singles, but also too, was there a lot of time for writing during the pandemic?
There was a good bit of time for me, especially that summer. Like, I wrote a lot during that summer, and then ended up I released Old Country Song in October of 2021, and then I released Where Nobody Knows in January of 22. So I did a good bit of writing that summer, which then gave me a lot more material. And I was still writing into the school year, but I had
Mm-hmm.
school at the same time, so it was a little bit harder to juggle. And so, but I've tried to keep just like a constant kind of writing schedule so I can
Mm-hmm.
just stay writing. And if I don't exactly have a song that I want to record, I just try to keep writing until I can find the right one.
Which is good. Then you have a selection of them too that you want to
Yeah.
someday. I'm sure there's other projects. And now with 2023, things kind of back in full gear again. Live shows are out there because I just went to one with Shenandoah the other night, Wade Hayes and Billy Dean over in Lake Charles. And all these things are really coming back to life. Crowds are out, people craving music, and just having a good time out there again, enjoying themselves of what we couldn't do for about 2 years. For you, it just seems like business is really picking up here. I saw you had a billboard in Nashville. Congratulations on
Thank
that. For this latest single, it's creating a lot of buzz out there too. Talk about your, I guess, early part of 23, and then some goals that you have for yourself as we get into the summer and the fall.
Yeah, well, I would just love to keep playing out places and releasing new music. Hopefully, play out of state more, because I haven't gotten the chance to do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that yet. And I would just mostly like to just stay going with putting songs out. I'd
Yeah.
like to another music video, um, and just playing out. a lot. So,
Okay.
and so far
Get a lot
this
of
year,
shows and
yeah,
so you'll
but
have
so
some string of shows coming up. Go ahead and tell people where they can kind of find you too as well. Like there's a few shows
so
for you coming up. I've noticed out there too. On
yeah, I play. I usually play a couple writers rounds a week in Nashville, and then I play full band shifts down on Broadway, just like 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm playing at Rippy's on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week.
okay,
And it's usually 2 to 6.
okay,
And then I'm playing Commodore Sunday night.
okay.
And I think that's all I've got scheduled for this week.
All right. Well, it's still busy, no doubt about that too.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got more co-writes.
looking
So.
more co-writes. When you look back at those songs you mentioned with Old Country Song, give us kind of that idea of just sitting around. I think every good song has at least a good story, or at least one of those those hooks or leads or things like that. When it comes to mind, people say, "Well, that came together in 20 minutes, or that came together in 30 minutes," and I got to write that. What was the backstory of Old Country Song?
Well, this song started more. My other songs had started with lyrics, and then I kind of just built the instruments around it. But Old Country Song started off with we ended up recording all the instruments first, and then I started to kind of focus more on the melody of Old Country Song more, because I needed an upbeat song.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like the most upbeat song that I have. But I tended to focus more on the melody rather. I mean, I focused a lot on the lyrics too, but I feel like Shadows was more of a lyric-driven song rather than with Old Country Song. It's like a lot of guitars, a lot of just everything.
A little bit of everything, yep.
So. Yeah.
No doubt. I'm going to go over to England here because my buddy David, he tunes in a lot here on the Backstage Pass, always asking some good questions, participating in the show. If you got a question for Macartney, don't let me be the only one talking out there. Feel free to ask it in the margin. We'll get to as many as we can. He says, hey, Brandon McCartney, watching from Cumbria in England. Please, can you tell me, McCartney, about the guitar that she's using? How important is the guitar to her when she's writing and performing? Great question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I usually I write with this Martin that I have. It's a D16.
Okay.
And it was actually my grandpa's, so I inherited it. And I play it all the time now. And it's very crucial when because most of the time, I didn't used to do this. I used to just write lyrics and then be like, okay, I'll just put chords behind it. But now it really helps me to form lyrics around how a chord feels, and I always have my guitar when I'm writing because I feel like it's just one of the most important parts. I also write on my piano sometimes, but it's mostly my guitar that I write off of.
You got to have the right instrument to have the right, put pen to paper or put it in the notes page of the phone or get the hook book, whatever the case may be, have the right tool to build a house and, of course, the right instrument to write a great song out there, too. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take one last break here on the show. Come back. I'll set you up for another performance here on the Backstage Pass. We'll come back, do some rapid fire. One quick timeout here is, again, our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out, bangtail.com or easyliquor.com or Total Wine and Specs in Nashville, Tennessee, and, of course, our surrounding states here in the South, Alabama, Georgia, Florida out there, too. Several bars ask for it. If they don't have it, demand it. Also, our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits, the vodka, the gin, and the bourbon. Fantastic out there to raise that glass with some of your friends. Have a good time. All the impurities are gone. They create a refined experience out there for your favorite gin, vodka, or bourbon. Check them out at gentleben.com. And, of course, Honky Tonk Texas, our friends down here, Little Dance Hall in Texas. Appreciate their support. All made possible to send us to Nashville, Tennessee for CRS 2023. And what a great lineup of guests that we do have We'll come back talk about that here on the show. More with Macartney Reinhardt here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight, coming right back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. All those machines right there, that's how they do it. People ask me all the time, how do they make that drink so good? Well, it's all those machines, and it's all the impurities that remove the burn from it. Everybody likes a smooth vodka, smooth gin, and smooth bourbon. I drink the bourbon at least twice a week. Gentle Ben Spirits out there. Ricky Ford, a good friend, class of 85, the Texas A&M Aggies. Great company out there, too, as well. You can get it at gentleben.com and experience it for yourself. Sit back and raise a glass to the end of the week, man. We all love to do this. It's almost Friday coming up. Tomorrow's hump day. And definitely enjoy the vodka gin bourbon from Gentle Ben. Also, our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. And, of course, Honky Tonk Texas, all made possible coming up here in a few weeks. The big event, CRS 2023, broadcasting live from Nashville at the Omni. And we got them coming from all shapes and sizes. If you're, I guess, what is the old saying? 8 to 80. I guess you could say 8 to 88, 8 to 90. If you love music from whatever age it is, we got it for you there. Like I said, interviews out the you-know-what coming up, having a good time. Darian Lee, Travis Denning, McBride and the Ride, T.G. Shepard, Dallas Remington, T. Graham Brown, Brady Seals, and a whole lot more will be joining us there at the Omni Hotel March 13 to 15. Catch it Facebook Live or Instagram, the website, of course, the SportsGuysPodcast.com, and on the YouTube channel. We're all over the place out there. Wherever you find podcasts, you'll find the Backstage Pass. Back here with Macartney Reinhardt here. We got to get into a little rapid fire here in just a little bit, but I'm going to turn it over to you for another performance. And what are we going to hear? What's the audience going to be graced with?
I think I'll play Old Country Song.
All right, let's do it. It's all yours.
When I first saw you, I knew that sparkle in your eyes could really save me. I never thought we'd end up like this, but I'm glad, 'cause you really changed me. Got your picture by the radio, listening to some Haggard and Jones. Never wanna let you go. You know I fell off of the deep end, hoping it would never end, like an old country song, like an old country song. Now we know where we've been and we're going. Didn't know how much I wanted this. You said this would never end, but I think this is the last kiss. Got your picture by the radio, listening to some Haggard and Jones. Never wanna let you go. You know I fell off of the deep end, hoping it would never end, like an like an old country song. You know this is how it was supposed to go, but you had your chance and now you're in my rearview window. Got your picture by the radio, listening to some Haggard and Jones. Never wanna let you go. You know I fell off of the deep end, hoping it would never end, like an old country song, like an old country song.
That's it. Macartney Reinhardt on the passing it presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Ben Spirits, and of course their friends in Honky Tonk, Texas. Beautiful songs out there. Love it. The current single, Coming Home, is out there across all the digital platforms. All right. One of my favorite time to show. Love to get into rapid fire. I get to know you more on a personal basis. The best part is no hard questions, no SAT questions, and we get to have a little fun with you here on the show. All right. Favorite shows to binge watch for Macartney. What do you get into?
Oh, I really love Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite.
I like that. I'm into 2 right now. I've got to catch them weekly too. Definitely. It's Your Honor. It's coming on Showtime, which is really good. It has Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad in it too. Well, he's just a great actor, no doubt. And anything he touches, you see turn to gold pretty good. And the new one with the 2 Game of Thrones actors, is it Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal? The Last of Us on HBO, which is kind of the zombie apocalypse series out there, 5 or 6 episodes into it, which are pretty good. I'm enjoying some television. And the American Idol series that just came on the other night, the new season for all the auditions. So that's always fun to catch. Catch the reality shows like Idol or The Voice.
Yeah, I love reality shows. I watch like TLC a lot. So
that's another good. That's another good one, no doubt. Hey, tell me about favorite foods, favorite hobbies outside of music. What do you like to eat? What do you like to do outside of music?
Well, I was a cheerleader, and well, I would be in 11th grade right now if I was still in school. Mm-hmm. So I do virtual school right now. So when I was in actual high school, I was a cheerleader, and that was probably my favorite like hobby to do. And food, probably Southern food. I love Southern food.
Okay. Anything Southern. Could be fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuff like green beans, whatever.
Like any kind of food you can get on holidays in the South.
There you go. I heard my buddy Marty Raven from Shenandoah say to the night, Sunday in the South was a big hit for them and consists of good Southern cooking. There you go. He put that in the song, and that's exactly what their statement. They do stand behind it. All right. I'm searching for restaurants in Nashville when I'm there for CRS. We did a couple last year, but I want to get some more this year because we're going to be out and about more doing things. What's your favorite place to eat in Nashville? What do you like?
I would suggest going to Hattie B's.
Okay.
They have really good, like, just Nashville hot chicken. It's really, and also Southern food. If you get a chance, Paula Deen's is really good.
I've heard that from several people, and
those would be my top choices.
All right, I'll take you up on that too. We'll definitely do that. And the hot chicken from Hattie B's, I did not get to last year because it was so busy, and we got so busy with stuff like that. But there'll probably be a few lunch runs in there, and so some things like that, or the what do you call it, the Uber Eats or whatever, have it delivered to hotel because we'll be so busy with all the shows we got to put out too over that 2.5 day, 3 day period there too. All right, let's have fun with this one. Dream car. If you could have any car to drive out there in the world, what is the make and model for McCartney? What car would you have?
Well, I'm not sure. I wanted a Jeep for a long time, just like a Jeep Wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like a sports car, probably.
Okay. All right. I like that too.
Really?
Which is a good thing. All right. Tell me about the title of the first song you ever wrote.
Shadows was the first full song I ever wrote.
Okay.
But the first song I ever wrote was when I was 6.
Wow.
And it was like a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called The Great Little Seas.
Okay.
Because I had been to the Great Lakes, and that's what I wrote it about. So.
Chorus, part of the chorus, not whatever lyric. The fact is you wrote it, that counts for, like I said, that's priceless to as well being. So especially that age there, writing music, whether it's a chorus or any part of the song there. I wanted to ask you about Where Nobody Knows, because I forgot to tie that into the last segment with so much going on. Tell us a little bit about Where Nobody Knows kind of came from and the idea behind it.
Well, the idea behind the song, I wanted like a fun summer song where like you could just ride in the car with your windows down listening to it. And so that's where the motivation for that one came from. And like I just wanted it to be, since some of my other songs are pretty heavy and sad, and I just wanted that to be like really lighthearted and no breakup, no
Mm-hmm.
depression, happy beach song.
It is a happy beach song, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I love this single. It is fantastic. Congratulations on all the success, the billboards. I mean, my goodness, you're one of the hottest names of the industry out there right now that is emerging, rising country artist there too. I know we're going to hear a lot more from you too. The current single is Coming Home. From the great Macartney Reinhardt here on the Backstage Pass. Macartney, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. And I'm looking forward to meeting you one day, hopefully in person, if we pass through Nashville at CRS this year or any year to come. And best of luck with all the future goals and things going forward, no doubt.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Macartney Reinhardt here on the Backstage Pass. Tomorrow we'll have another great guest here, and on Friday I've got to go back and look and see who I have here because the schedule's getting very busy. But you'll know on social media if you keep attuned to what's going on out there too as well. Todd, I guess I got a question for Macartney. She can answer it off air because I do not have the answer to that too in the comment section. So she'll get to that too on the off air side of things too as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow here, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Gentle Ben Spirits, and of course Honky Tonk Texas. Countdown to CRS is on March 13 to 15. We will be broadcasting live from the Omni Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, Facebook Live, all of our shows, and put them out there on the YouTube channel, the website, all that great stuff out there with a slew of guests. You got to tune in to find out, and it will be so fast. We'll make your head spin, probably 10 to 15 minutes per guest, and we'll be starting and stopping the broadcast so many times that we'll have to figure out who's coming in. Somebody sits down, somebody gets up, and the next person goes behind the curtain. I feel like we'll be playing Let's Make a Deal, but it's always fun to do that, and I love CRS. Looking forward to that. And again, thanks to the sponsors out there. Bangtail Whiskey, our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits, and Honky Tonk Texas. Tomorrow, we'll be back here on the Backstage Pass tomorrow night. Have a great guest on to join us. You'll find out. Tune in to find out who it is. And we'll see you guys coming up tomorrow and Friday on the Backstage Pass. Until then, drink responsibly. We always say here on the show, whatever you do it with a lot of fun, a lot of passion, and enjoy life. No doubt about it, too. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a terrific night. See you soon.